So hello everyone, this is your Krishna from Women Today YouTube channel. So in this channel, we have been interviewing many women entrepreneurs and working women across different cities in India. We are just traveling to different cities and we are doing offline interviews in clients' place. And we are also doing online interviews across different cities in India and also across different countries in the world. So today's our guest is from Bangalore and her name is Komal Mathur. So she is a famous Splashh online classes. I mean, she is the founder of Splashh Academy, running online classes, and she is a handwriting coach for students. I welcome you, Komal Mathur, ma'am, to this Women Today YouTube channel. So, kindly introduce about yourself, about the kind of work that you do to the audience who are watching this interview right now, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Krishna, first of all, for having me on your show. And I'm really excited to share my thoughts during this conversation. Everyone got to know my name is Komal Mathur. I'm an art educator and a handwriting improvement coach. So I teach students across the world, okay, and I work with children of different age groups and adults as well. I actually come from a finance background. So I worked with a leading financial firm earlier, but the change of cities and my growing, passion for teaching, I slowly realized that, this is what makes me really happy. So that's how I started Splashh online classes. And, it gradually started as a hobby. It was a hobby throughout my childhood. It slowly turned into my passion, and now it's my profession.
Great to
And
know. Yes, tell me, ma'am.
Yes.
So great to know you're from a different background, technical one, and you're just moving into a stream where you want to kind of have a conversation with the students, with the adults regarding
Right.
handwriting. Of course, there is a saying that handwriting actually determines your life, because that's the thing how our family used to guide us. Based upon your handwriting,
True.
it is used to determine your future life. So you have made your passion, your profession in such a way, in a very basic thing, that even a normal kid should start with the handwriting. So that's how you have been a founder of Splashh online classes for handwriting and other things. That's a great thing now. So also tell us, ma'am, where
Yes.
did you get this particular inspiration for becoming a handwriting coach? There may be many streams which you must be very fond of. Of course, you are in a very technical stream, but tell me, how did you get into teaching art? So all of that about art, explain about it, ma'am.
Yes, so I'll first explain to you how it all started. So I was taking offline when I changed cities, I was taking some offline classes, but during COVID, especially when all the children they were at home, so they required to do something. Initially the schools were also closed. There was nothing to do. So even my daughters, how they used to spend time. So I used to do, different art activities, craft activities with them, and slowly, gradually, I realized that, this is something that I think all the children must be going through, staying at home. And they can actually, make it a hobby. It is something very creative and it can help them during their free time in COVID. And similarly, handwriting also. So when, the kids, they stopped going to school, so there was no writing work. There were only online school classes. They had to just type on their computers. So they gradually, with lack of practice for writing, there was suddenly a huge demand because children, even adults, they were not able to write properly. They forgot how to write. So that is how, I realized that this is something which all the kids, need right now, practice of handwriting, just going through all the concepts again. So that is how it started. Everything started. And for me, art is it's not only a subject. I think it is a very powerful medium which helps kids to express themselves, to build their confidence, and think creatively, which had somehow come to a standstill during COVID years, right? So I tried making my art sessions very fun, accessible, engaging. So I tried combining all the techniques that I knew, and imagination. I encourage kids to imagine and draw. So this is how it all started. And why art? Because that is something which I personally always felt that's a very nice way to express myself. And once you finish any artwork, the result that you get, it is so satisfying to look at what you have done. So this is how it all started.
Yeah, of course, that's a great thing. Of course, as you told, during the holidays, parents will be thinking like, okay, my kid is actually doing nothing in the home. He or she, my kid, should actually come very well in their own life, and they should
Right.
incorporate any kind of good qualities. So they'll be thinking like during the summer days, which camp should I actually send my kid to? What kind of classes I can actually make them study, which will actually help them in the future. So it all started with your own kind of kids. They actually had a lot of things. Today's kid are actually having a lot of times with iPad, with modern electronic devices. Of course, your mobile and all these gadgets will actually help them in some or the other way, but they have to have some particular practical skills. So that's what
Right.
you're actually making them sure that they need to have this kind of practical skills, starting with the handwriting and the arts. So many of
Right.
them wonder, why should my kid get enrolled into an arts class? So tell us, ma'am, what do you want to tell to the parents who are asking what are the benefits of art education for children's development? So tell us about it, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. So see, art has a lot of benefits. Ask me, I can just not stop, praising about how art can help a child. So first of all, we start with as basic as fine motor skills, sitting on a chair, keeping your drawing book in front of you, how to keep the book, making a line, making a straight line using a scale, making different shapes. So these are some basic fine motor skills that developed while a child is learning art. Secondly, creativity and imagination, that is very important. Okay, so for a child, just think beyond what the child sees at home or at school. It is very important that the child develops imagination. So that is very important. Then comes emotional expression. Okay, so there are some children who speak less, who are little shy. They won't express themselves to others. So what they can do is they'll just sit and draw something. So looking at what they have drawn, it's expression. It's expression of their emotions. So that is very important. Then small cognitive skills like decision making. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So when I take the art class, so there are few things that I've decided that you are going to draw this on this piece of paper. Now, where to draw, how big to draw, how small to draw. So all these are small decision making skills. Planning your artwork. Right, you just cannot start. If I want to make 5 animals on a drawing paper, and the child just uses the entire sheet to make one animal. So, fine, it's drawn, but there's lack of planning. So that is also what I teach in my class. That first think what all you have to draw, where and how we are going to draw. So these small things, decision making, planning. So these things also help the child. Then comes the confidence and self-esteem. Sometimes I get students, their parents tell me before making them join the class that, my child is very poor at art, doesn't know drawing, and, such things. But after attending a couple of sessions, maybe 4 sessions, the child is drawing so nicely that even the parents and the child couldn't believe that, okay, we have drawn, all this. So, slowly their confidence builds, their self-esteem builds. When what started from, we don't know how to draw, now they can confidently draw without looking at any video, without looking at any YouTube videos. Okay, because it's easy to copy. But my style is that teach them techniques so that they can just sit with a paper and pen and draw. So that's how it helps in building confidence. And lastly, and very important, thing is cultural awareness. Okay, so my art classes are theme based. So which means that very frequently I will make artworks related to some festivals of all religions. Okay, so that we include everyone. I'll make drawings for all religions. There are so many national days, so many important events throughout the world. Okay, so we'll pick up one theme and we draw. So this is how children, get awareness, get to know about so many other festivals of other, religion which they were not even aware of. And since I take students from all around the globe, so even Indians, NRIs who are staying abroad, their children are away from all these festivals and everything, so they feel so happy that now their children, they're getting to know so many festivals in details. They'll get to know whatever we are drawing related to the festival or maybe any national day, so they get awareness. Then we do poster making, so they are aware of different issues also that are there in the current scenario. So it's a very informative session, and that's how children get awareness about so many different aspects which they're not aware of. So that's how through art, it's a very interesting way, because boring way can be your classroom studies, question answers, what is air pollution, what is water pollution. So that might become boring for a few kids. So through art, they will learn all these things.
So that's a very long narrative from you. Of course, it reminds me of my childhood days where I used to go for different schools for drawing kind of competitions. Where these days we used to tell it in a way that art, but during those days, like before 20 years, we used to tell it as drawing competitions, and I used to go, and of course, as you told, you used to kind of teach kids about different festivities. So in the same way, we were just given a topic, like there used to be like 1,000 kids in that particular auditorium, and they'll be giving in a common topic. So at that time, see how it comes and binds with your current thing. We also had the same topic: draw any kind of festivities which you wanted to do. So those days it was perfect. And I used to draw some small crackers. So people used to burn crackers during Diwali, na? So I used to draw that kind of things. Of course,
crackers.
Yeah, of course. So we used to have that kind of things. Of course, as the entire thing which you told was actually true. Of course, each and everything we have to plan. We have to plan in such a way that I should win this competition. So I should make myself sure that I should draw each and everything within the particular paper which is handed over to me. So that's called decision making. So that's what you're trying to make kids to know about this decision making. Of course, art form is not only just art, it incorporates many things. The one of the things is decision making, and the other things which we need to do is creativity. Of course, each and every kid is born with some kind of creativity skills which we need to kind of find it out and bring out that kind of talents. So tell us, ma'am, how
exactly kids, they're not sorry to interrupt you. So the parents and kids, they themselves these days, sometimes it happens, they're not aware that they can do it. They can do art. They don't even know until they, actually sit and make art. They won't even realize that, oh, they're really good at drawing and painting or something or the other. There are so many art forms. So it helps them actually realize their talent.
Of course, art is the basic thing which we can actually identify, because I used to speak to many professionals in this interview, and one of the professionals, she's a great astrologer, and she is also a great, like, you're a handwriting coach, and with the help of that handwriting, she'll be able to tell what stream that kid will be able to specialize in. So that's a totally different professional. And what happened is that you actually need to go and focus, and you need to analyze what your kid is actually drawing. So if your kid is going to draw a star, so he or she, that kid will actually flourish great in the kind of media department. Like, they wanted themselves to present in front of media, they wanted to become a star. So that's how each and every artistic, of course, you're a handwriting and an art coach, but there is a different stream. So it actually tells in which stream our kid is going to specialize in. So all these kind of things have the base thing called handwriting, the art. So people used to think that, okay, your kid is, of course, our teachers, they're not complaining, but they'll be giving the information to the parents that your kid is always drawing something, some kind of doodles, but they're not even listening to class. The thing is that we should actually go through what kind of art they are drawing. That's actually coming from the heart. That's actually coming not from the brain, but from the heart. So our heart is usually actually used to guide in some other way. So tell us, ma'am, what are the kind of fun and engaging kind of environment that you actually provide to the students so that it will make them the handwriting classes or any arts classes the best way they have their life, ma'am?
Yes. So see, first of all, my idea of classes is that the child should attend the class, happily on their own. They should not be forced to sit in the class. Okay. So this is how I start with, make the classes very engaging, talk to kids, keep it open. It's not only one-sided, like these are live sessions, what I take. They are not recorded classes. So it's like two-way communication is there. Kids can talk to me, I can talk to my students. So and another important thing is that I do storytelling within my during my art sessions. So that is something that all the students eagerly wait every week. They want to listen to a story related to the theme which we are drawing. So that is something which makes the class also interesting, and they get to learn more about the theme. Okay, like for example, like pollution only. Okay, it will look like a very boring topic. What is pollution? How can you save your environment? All these things. But during the storytelling session, during the art sessions, kids will learn all this in a very interesting way. So this is how I try to make my sessions engaging. And also, just talking to kids, just listening to what they have to say, just looking at their different drawings or something that they have made during the week. They'll just show it to me. Oh, we made this yesterday, we made this in school. So all these things, just talking to the kids, just listening to what they have to say, what they are showing to me, it makes a lot of difference. And secondly, we play games also. So some fun games, some fun online games we'll play after the sessions, during the sessions. So all these things, keep the kids engaged and keep them motivated, I would say, to attend the classes, because they're not learning only one thing. They're not learning only art or only handwriting improvement. So it's building their confidence and creativity.
That's a great thing. Of course, storytelling is very interesting, not only to kids but also to adults like us. We used to listen to many kind of stories. What's happening in the other people's kind of family? We used to ask, but it's not to say in a very derogatory way, but we used to say in a way that we are actually curious what's actually happening, which we actually don't know, because there is a lot of curious things like consider, like for scientists, they used to kind of curious about what's actually there is in Antarctica, what's actually there is in Mars, is there any kind of life? So they're actually curious about it. So in the same way, kids are actually curious about the stories. So that's how you make kids very fun and engaging. People actually need to kind of bind with you, and you take this storytelling as a tool in which kids can actually bind with you, and you can actually make them sure that you are actually making them right way to teach arts. That's a great thing, ma'am. And also parents will be worrying about, tell us, ma'am, how can actually art, how can my kid incorporate these arts activities into different subjects like maths, like science or language? So tell us about it. So because of this answer, you will be able to convince and tell parents that art is actually important to incorporate all these kind of different streams like English, math, science, language into their daily life. So tell us about it, ma'am.
So that's actually a wonderful question, Krishna. So this is something, parents come to me that our child was never interested in art. But now as they're coming in the higher classes, I want to enroll the child because, now they are required to make drawings at school for different subjects. So that is why art is important for your academics purpose also. For example, maths. Okay, so the especially geometry in maths, it's all about making shapes, drawing shapes, understanding shapes, right? Making straight lines, making angles, so all these things. So there are few kids, when they start using a scale, they cannot even make a straight line, even using a scale. So with art, with so much practice, they're easily able to make shapes and diagrams, specifically if we talk about maths. So that is another one important thing, because maths is something which will be a part of your school curriculum. No, there's no way to not do maths. So this is very important. Then comes science. Again, science, making diagrams related to, whatever text, whatever you are learning. So it is very important. And students learn also using diagrams. Sometimes they're not able to learn the text, learn the answers. But if they have learned the diagram, they know how to make the diagram, they know how to label the diagram. As simple as making straight lines to label a diagram is very important. It fetches your marks, and it helps you to learn the answers also. So kids, without actually learning, they can just relate to the diagram and write their answers if they understand the concept. So there also art is important. Then, language. In every school, whether it's Hindi, English, or any third language that the kid is learning. So before your chapter starts, before you start writing anything, you have to draw a diagram related to that topic, right? So because that is something that child will remember. Okay, they might not remember alphabets, words, sentences. They'll always remember the diagram that they have drawn. So in language subjects also, it is very important. Then comes other subjects, like if you are studying history, you're studying geography also, it's very important. Marking in the maps, everything is important. Making small diagrams, making a diagram of a state, of a city, of a district, and some other diagrams related to maybe some folk arts, maybe some dance. So all these things, slowly every week I incorporate in my classes as well. Sometimes we'll learn about Indian dance forms. So this is how it's important.
That's a great thing. So also you're telling that each and every kid should actually learn art, how to draw.
Exactly.
Moreover, speaking with terms like this, it makes us go back to our school days where we used to, in science subjects actually, if we want to describe about amoeba, we will be actually drawing amoeba and we'll be putting the parts. Oh, this is the part of thing. And if you want to draw any kind of biology, coming to biology, during my high school days, I used to be a biology student, and at that time we used to draw each and everything. Used to have drawings like botany.
Right.
We used to draw plants. For zoology, we used to draw the parts of living beings. Even consider frog. We used to draw frog. We used to draw
Yes, we have
mitochondria.
drawn cockroaches, we have drawn mosquitoes,
Exactly.
everything we have drawn. Yeah.
Exactly, because that's the thing, because that's what you're actually teaching to the students right from the early days. Because during our early days, we used to not concentrate we used to concentrate only on the writing things, but during the high schools we used to draw the artworks. Of course, as you said, during our practical exams we used to draw by there will be live specimens in front of us, and seeing that we should draw like many flowers, many kind of parts of living beings. And that's the thing, because why I'm saying this, it's very simple, because as you told, parents will be asking like, what art has to do with my kids max, with my kids language subjects. So this is the right way, because you can use this as an example by telling people that of course they're going to use this art kind of things in their high school. So that's what we are just incorporating them in the
Right.
starting stage. So that's the right thing.
Yes.
That you wanted to tell to
Yes. And
parents.
as you mentioned, this is another important thing, that you look at something in front of you and draw. It is very different from imagining and drawing. It is very
Exactly.
different from copying from YouTube or maybe a paper and drawing. So these are all different things. So you should be able to do that as well. Looking at a live object and draw. So that is again a very different
Even it's not
thing
only
that children
different.
can learn.
Yeah, it's not only different, it's also very difficult to see a live object. And we can't actually, because it's coming in 3D, but we want to draw in 2D. There is difference between
Right,
3D and 2D. And we'll be wondering like how I want to draw these petals, how will we be able to draw this parts of the things. So people will be wondering like
Yeah.
that. So that's actually a great thing.
And the coloring also, there are light
Yeah.
effects and everything. So everything is different.
Yeah.
So
Coming
these
to the
are very
coloring part.
important aspects.
Yeah, coming to the coloring
To
part,
make
that's
your
very,
artwork look realistic. So when we color, so this is again, one of the techniques that I mentioned to the kids. Like we can just do one color in an object, but if we use multiple colors, then our object will look little realistic. So this is another important, technique to make what you have drawn to make it look realistic. And we can do it through coloring, if not drawing.
That's great, ma'am. And also, people will be wondering, like most of the parents will be wondering, like, okay, our ma'am is teaching right now. You're doing online classes and you're not doing offline classes. You're totally into online teaching for handwriting and arts close. Am I right, ma'am?
Yes,
So
that's
people,
correct.
yeah,
So
people will be wondering, like, okay, if I have to enroll my kid in online art classes, so tell us, ma'am, what are the basic benefits that which we can actually expect from you by enrolling my kid into an online class? And also the second thing will be like, tell us, ma'am, what are the materials should my kid have to learn well in this art online art classes? So these are the basic questions. So tell us about it, ma'am.
yes. So I will start with the benefits of online art classes. Parents think that it's online, again, it's added screen time, but that is not the case. With online classes, you get access to quality teachers. I mean, you can just join classes anywhere. When I started during COVID, when I started, so I started with, maybe 4 or 5 kids. Within a month, since I started taking kids from all over the world, there were students from Sri Lanka, there were students from Germany, from all over Europe. Okay, there were students from Africa, there were students from Australia. So it was so nice to connect, to kids from each and every region. And even for the kids, they got to know, oh, okay, this, the child in my class is from a certain place. Okay, this place is in Africa. Again, a learning. Okay, when the child is saying that I'm from this city, okay, then where is this city? It is in this country, it is in this continent. So they got to know. And the fun part was, I used to log on to my classes. So when you log in, what do you generally, if I'm like, I'm in India, I'm taking a class in the afternoon. Okay, so I'll say, good afternoon. The response that I used to get, few kids, good morning, ma'am. Few kids, good afternoon, ma'am. Few kids, they're saying, good evening, ma'am. So it was so fun. And that also, raised curiosity amongst other kids. Why someone is saying good morning, why that person is saying good evening. So they got to know that, they're together from all around the world, from all across the world, they're together in one class. So that is one thing. Secondly, it's flexible timings, right? Kids can join. I have multiple batches. They can join any batch. They miss a class in one batch, they can always attend in the other batch. And you are in your home environment. Kids, sometimes what happens is parents, they have to take their children for the classes. Small children, they quickly just feeding them, quickly eat, we have to go, we have to leave. So that is one benefit in online class. They are drawing, children, they're eating. Initially they would hesitate that can we eat? And like, yes, please feel free to eat also. If you're doing your work, it's fine. Okay, so their normal routine does not get disturbed. So that is one very, that's a big convenience for the children as well as their parents. And children, they learn at their own pace. Okay, sometimes if they're making something slow, they're not able to make it. So it's fine. I mean, they'll take their time to learn it. In the next class, they'll be faster making those things. So all these things happen. We are not rushing through the class. Okay, it's 1 hour. I have to finish my classes. They'll easily go beyond an hour or so, but we'll finish our work. So other kids have left. The kids who have finished their drawing, they have left. The ones who are slightly slow, they're doing it at their own pace, which is fine. So that is another benefit of online classes. You can do it. And parents are not waiting for you to let's quickly go, some things like that. Then, since I have small batches, online small batches, and so there is increased focus also. Okay, so kids, they're focusing also. So that is another important aspect. And then, they're learning some online tools as well. So now, who knew what Zoom is? Who knew what Google Meet is? So now kids, they can easily just, log into the classes. They know where the link is, how to join, how to change their names, how to change different things. So this is also a benefit, which is very important. Okay, so it is not your screen time. It is something which is very essential these days. You should be knowing all this.
Of course,
So
that's a
yeah,
great
so
thing.
these are the benefits, yeah, of the online class. And
Of course, as you said, kids will be able to kind of learn new digital things. Of course, they'll be able to learn how to log into Zoom, how to make sure that they can actually write the correct names, and they're digitally informed. And also at the same time, the other kind of benefits via online classes, as you told right now. So there is a simple example. You told that you'll be telling good morning to the students, and people, kids all across the world, they'll be connected to you from different countries, and they'll be wondering like, ma'am, it's not good morning, it's good evening, it's good afternoon. So on the other hand, you're telling the other kind of benefits I'll be telling you right now is the parents will be able to connect with different persons across different countries in the world, because you are the one hosting people across the world. So they'll be able to have a different broad perspective of how kids are learning from across different continents. And also they'll be able to have a good communication, a good kind of networking with different people. Of course, in today's modern world, everything starts with networking. So people will be wondering, like before, like 10 to 20 years, we'll be asking like, do you know anyone from US, like United States of America? And they'll be wondering like, if I know anyone from US, I'll be able to make my kid go and study in the US during its college days. So right now everything is coming in fingertips, and right now, even though they'll be thinking like, okay, even though I'll be able to know this person, so there must be some kind of trust form that I should have. And via Komal, Mathur ma'am, you're running this online art classes, you're the trust. So people will be trusting you in trusting the other person. So that's how the networking kind of things work. So I think,
exactly.
yeah.
Yes. So that's a very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. And this is how it works. In my classes, sometimes, cousins in different countries, they will meet, they look forward to meet each other that, oh, otherwise, it's difficult to meet in person. They'll meet in the class. Friends, oh, I know that person. I know that she's my friend. She stays here. She stays there. So they're really excited to, see each other, meet each other, say hi to each other in the class. So that usually it happens in the classes.
So also tell us, ma'am, how can actually a parent actually help a kid? How can they actually motivate a kid in online classes to improve their artistic kind of things? Because people will be just concentrating on the curriculum, like the day-to-day subjects they have to learn. But how can a parent be actually help a student in motivating them, in actually encouraging them to pursue online art classes, ma'am?
So first of all, the parents can actually create that positive environment in the house, give child a proper space to sit and make art, to write, maybe a table, a chair, and the art supplies as well. Okay, sometimes kids don't have these colors, that colors, they don't have a drawing book to draw on. So these, as basic as these things, the material, the environment, to actually sit and draw. Okay, then secondly, they can, just keep encouraging, motivating the child. They should not look at the results initially, okay, because the child is still learning. So they should just keep motivating, be more curious about what the child has drawn, ask them that, why have you drawn this? What inspired you to draw all this? So all these kind of, questions, motivations, and appreciation also. When the child has finished the artwork, you can appreciate it and display their drawings. Sometimes when we make drawings related to any religious festivals, maybe related to some gods or anything, so parents actually make an effort to decorate that drawing in their the small temple at home. So they will send me a picture. The kids, they're so happy that, oh, my drawing, my parents have decorated it there. So this is how kids get motivated and they feel appreciated.
Yeah, also speaking about the materials. So we were just speaking about the materials that is very much needed to learn for online art classes. So tell us how well you want to inform the parents and the students that what are the materials that is very much important in order to make them successful in the online art classes. So explain about it, ma'am.
Yes, so see, we are connected through online. So there's a list of material which is given to the parents, and that material list does not change. Okay, if a couple of item needs to be added in particular class, I inform them. So we have a well structured WhatsApp groups through which parents and I we keep connected. So the communication is very clear and timely. So that is how the parents are informed in advance, and they're ready with the material before the class.
So yeah, that is technical part. So whenever a kid enrolls in it, they'll be able to get to know about it. That's a great thing. And also moving on to the other thing, that handwriting coach, that kind of session is totally a different thing, because people will be asking the very first question is, how can a kid get benefit from making themselves sure that they have a very good handwriting? Because they will be thinking like, okay, everything is going digital right now, and even if you want to communicate any kind of message in WhatsApp, instead of going and typing, we are just giving a voice message. So each and everything is going in digital format, we have to just type in the words. So at this point of time, how will you make sure that each and every kid who actually enrolls in a handwriting kind of sessions, they'll be able to get a lot of benefits? And also at the same time, tell us how well can you actually make sure that a kid can improve the handwriting kits in your handwriting sessions? So tell us all about it, ma'am.
Yes. So see, when we start with the handwriting, so the first thing is to make my students, whether they're children or adults, okay, to realize how important your handwriting is, even if it is not required, especially for adults. If it's not required, even then it is very important. Sometimes you have to write checks, sometimes you have to write applications. So it happens that someone is not able to write because they don't have practice. So first thing is realizing how important it is, even for students. Okay, it's very important for me to first make them realize that why you are in the class, why it is important to go to a better handwriting so that others can easily read what you have written. So that is first thing that I do. Secondly, other important aspects related to handwriting, they are similar to art. Again, developing your fine motor skills and building your focus and concentration, because there are so many kids who easily get distracted. They don't want to continue writing. They're copying from the board, they'll get distracted and they'll stop writing, they'll miss their notes. So it is very important for me to make them realize how important it is to finish their classwork, to finish their homework timely in a good handwriting so that others can read it, and then you have time for other things as well. So that's how it is very important, handwriting. And secondly, and most importantly, it builds your confidence. So that is another realization that kids get, that how good handwriting will fetch them confidence and appreciation from everyone, including their teachers, parents, and their peers also.
So also there is a lot of things like how well a parent can actually help them in actually developing their handwriting skills in home. So tell us, ma'am, because a lot of things happens in your sessions during online classes, and once the online classes is over, the parents will be feeling like, okay, what is the need? They're already studying in online classes, so why should they actually go and encourage kids to continue handwriting when the handwriting classes are over? So at that time, what will you tell the parents to make themselves sure that they support the kids in this handwriting? And also tell us, ma'am, how do you actually make sure that the kids are having a fun and engaging kind of things in your handwriting sessions? So tell us all about it, ma'am.
Yes. So first thing that parents can do is keep the child motivated. That is one thing which I also do, and I expect from the parents also, because sometimes what happens is child is motivated in the class, but when they're writing, parents will start discouraging, how you're writing, write again, things like that. So there also, motivation from parents side is also very important. Then making sure that the children, they're practicing every day. In fact, sometimes I'll tell my students that if you do not get time with school, if if you're attending the classes in holidays, it's fine. But if you're not, if you're attending the classes along with school, then you're getting school classworks, you're getting school homeworks. You can consider that as your practice session, right? You don't need to sit separately, write something else. So that is how, parents can make sure that the child is practicing every day, at least writing 1 page or 2 pages. And they should not pressurize the child. They should just focus on improvement, right? So this is another one thing that I'm telling my students. See, I have lot of students in one batch. Okay, so from one point, from one handwriting, uh, you have to move to some. You have to get better. Okay, and what will be the result for one child would be the starting handwriting for another child, right? So everyone has to just get better at how you are writing. So parents also need to understand that the child is improving. Okay, just don't look at the results. Small improvements, small appreciations, small encouragements, they're very important from parents' side as well. Yeah.
Of course, each and everything starts with a small kind of gesture. Even if it's
Right.
not only with kids, but also with adults. If you're working for a company and our team leader is going to kind of praise us even for a small thing, it will actually motivate us. It will motivate us to do even more better, even more
Right.
hard work. That kind of things. It's a normal human gesture which we actually expect from not only from parents but also from each and every people in the world. So there is a lot of things which you told about how to keep a kids very fun and engaging, and how a parent can help them motivate them out of the online classes. So also tell us, ma'am, what are the most common struggles that a kid face during the handwriting kind of sessions? Because there must be this common thing that you feel that okay, most of the students are struggling during the handwriting kind of sessions. So tell us, how can one actually come out of this kind of struggles, and tell us about the common struggles. So all about it, ma'am.
Yeah, so few of the struggles that most of the kids face is the bad grip, how you're holding your pencil, how you're holding the pen, how you're sitting, how your posture is, and where you are writing. So it's always best to sit on a table and chair and write. So all these small things, bad grip especially, many kids face this problem. Then secondly, the mirror letters. Okay, when the child has just started writing, they will just write the reverse of the letters. So that is another problem, okay, that kids are facing. Then, writing within the lines. Some kids, they're writing in a 4-line notebook. Some kids, they're writing in a single line notebook. So how to clearly structure your letters, how to write it, especially when they're moving from a 4-line notebook to a single line notebook in higher standards. So these are the problems that they face. Then the spacing between the letters, how you have to write the letters, how you have to write the words, because some kids, they will write in a very concentrated manner. Some kids, they will space out the letters too much. So that balance and all through techniques, that is what I teach in the class.
So that's a great thing. How to actually, you told the very first thing is how to hold the pen, how to have a grip in the pen. So during my school days,
Yes.
especially during my high school days, speaking about, as you said, as we discussed before, during our botany and zoology exams, we have to write in detail and also we have to draw. So at that point of time, we'll not be having enough time to complete each and every answer. So of course, the thing is that we'll be able
Exactly.
to express ourselves, we'll be knowing in thorough knowledge of what we are going to write. But the thing is that they'll be giving a stipulated amount of 2.5 hours or 3 hours, and we'll not be able to complete it. Because even though we'll be able to know each and everything thoroughly, but because of the grip, we'll not be able to kind of finish our exams answering each and every questions. At that point of time, I used to ask my friend, like, I was not able to cover each and every questions because there is not enough time. But how you are able to cover it? Because you have to make sure that you have to write in a way that the teacher is able to read each and every answer what you have written in the answer paper, because it should be written in a very nice manner. And also at the same time, you have to complete that. That time, my friend, he told the ditto, the same thing which you have told right now. He told that, why are you holding too much, like putting a pressure on the grip in the pen? You should use your pen as a feather. You should hold it very lightly and you should write it in such a way that it will be each and every answer is covered very soon. So do not hold it like any kind of hockey stick or any kind of bat. Instead, hold your grip of the pen like a sparrow's feather, like a bird's feather. Then will be.
Absolutely. A bad grip can reduce your writing speed, and it can also, make your hands pain. So sometimes, kids complain that my hand is paining, I cannot write. It's because of the bad posture or bad grip. So these small things actually make a lot of difference.
So also tell us, ma'am, how can actually handwriting help a student, a kid, in order to express the current emotions, because most of the kids, if they are not able to speak something to the, if they may be happy, they may be angry, they may be worried about, they may be excited about, so there is a lot of emotions. So tell us, how can what a kid can actually express the kind of confidence, self-esteem, and also the worries in the form of artworks. So tell us about it, man.
See, I think art and handwriting, basically writing, it is one of the most natural ways in which anyone, whether it's children or adults, they can express themselves. They can express their emotions, they can express their thoughts, especially when they don't have any words. Again, every child, every person has a different personality. Some people will speak to express themselves. So this is one of the most natural ways in which anyone can express themselves. And they also communicate through the choice of colors, through which the type of drawings they are making. Some kids will make drawings which will show their excitement, how happy they are. And sometimes kids will be making drawings which will tell me that how calm they are. They're making it calmly, the speed of drawing, what preference they are giving to drawing what. So all these things are very important. And in my classes, I make sure that I, create an environment where children, they feel completely free to express themselves. So I will choose the themes that we are doing in the class, but there are no restrictions, there are no fixed rules, whether it is handwriting or art. So there's no rigidity. So kids can pick up their own colors, they can pick their patterns, even as if you're drawing some festival drawings, some girls, boys, they will make their own patterns in the clothes, they'll choose the colors, so which is very important, I feel. And they can add details also, how they wish. If they want to, we are making a particular scene, they want to add something, they're free to do whatever they want. And this freedom is very important, because when they're not afraid of they're not afraid of making mistakes, right? They will naturally open up. They know that, okay, ma'am will allow. Initially I used to feel, why are they asking me? It's fine, you want to add something, please add to your drawing, it will make your work beautiful, it will help you to express yourself, and you have imagined something, and now you're turning your imagination into creativity, please feel free to do it. So I encourage all that. And this is how kids open up and they communicate freely. So I feel this is very important.
Of course, only when you give freedom, space to kids, they will be able to open up. Otherwise, they'll be closed till the end. Will not be able to figure out what actually made them happy, what actually made them worried. So these are the things. So the basic thing is freedom, which you want to give to the kids, so that they'll be having
Right.
a very leisure space. They'll be able to open themselves up. Only when they open their heart or the brains out, then only we'll be able to analyze what's actually
Right.
inside, and we'll be able to kind of
Yes.
give the perfect solutions. So that's a great
Yes.
environment which you are. I truly appreciate that you're providing a great environment for kids in order to bring the talents out. That's a great thing, ma'am. So also on the curriculum
Yes.
kind of things, people will be kind of thinking, what can we expect in this kind of online classes when our kids get enrolled? So tell us about what can we expect in this curriculum, and also tell us how do you actually tailor your lessons that you wanted to teach to the kids for each and every students. So tell us about your kind of preparations, what you do for online classes. So tell us all about it, ma'am.
Yes. So I'll start with the art classes. So for art, the structure is that there is no one particular art form that I take in my classes. There are numerous art forms, and I cover all these art forms. Over a span of few months, we'll cover everything. And when it comes to one artwork, we start from the basics. Okay. So if one child is, enrolled with me for, say, 4 years, okay, and one child wants to join now, okay, so both of them will learn in a similar environment. They'll learn what we are doing from the basics. Okay, so whatever we are drawing, it will always start from the basics and including different, easy shapes and alphabets and numbers. So using that, we move on to making beautiful drawings. So kids, they're easily able to relate, easily able to move along with me. They will not miss out on anything because I'll draw with them. That is how they look and draw, and they will not miss it because the shapes that we are using, they're already aware of those shapes. And when they see those shapes turning into beautiful drawings, they feel really happy about it. So that is how it is structured. Uh, and then I give attention, I pay attention to each and every child in the class, how they are doing. They can ask me in the class if they miss something, if they want me to repeat anything. So basically, through sharing and reviewing their work continuously during the class and after the class, we are able to judge how the child is, making the drawings and how the child is progressing. And there's regular feedback, there's regular corrections, there are homework suggestions, there are competition suggestions. So children feel free to just draw.
So that's a great thing. You're actually traveling with the student. You're making sure that you're
Yes.
also one of the students and making themselves sure that they can exhibit freely their emotions and they can talk with you so that they can travel with you. You can analyze and make sure that they make the kind of handwriting or arts class successful. I do understand, ma'am. So also on the other hand, tell us, ma'am, how do you actually assess each and every kid's handwriting and kind of arts sessions? Because each and every class at the end, after 3 months or after 1 month or after 10 days, it will be having test. So tell us, how do you assess each and every person's skill, student skill, and how do you actually give them feedback via online classes, ma'am?
Yes. So there's a regular review of the submitted work. So I encourage students, whether they're in handwriting or art classes, that please keep submitting their work regularly so that feedback can be given on the basis of assessment. So that is how it works. Then during the class also, there are immediate corrections, especially for handwriting. It's a small batch. Immediate corrections we do it. Even if it's a small batch, it ultimately comes to one interaction, one-to-one suggestions. So that is how it works. And then I also show the kids how they were performing earlier, how they were making art earlier, and now how they are making this so much improvement in those small aspects, whether it's drawing or it's coloring. So where what is getting better, or telling them, giving them personalized feedback. Okay, you can do this, you can use this color, you can try this, you can try that. So they feel free to try all those things. And then once the work is submitted through any online mean like WhatsApp, then the feedback that I give, I make sure that it's a voice message from my side to each and every child, so that child can actually listen to the feedback and just not read. That makes a lot of difference, I feel, when the parents will just read the feedback what I've written, and when they will hear my voice how I'm giving the feedback. So that is one thing which makes a lot of difference, according to me.
So that's a great thing about hearing your assessments and the feedbacks that you give online during online sessions. So also tell us, ma'am, most of the people, they'll be thinking like, especially a parent will be thinking like, what is the scope of my kid in enrolling themselves into online art and handwriting classes? And also tell us, ma'am, can parents come and attend the online classes along with the kids? And how do they can stay updated in the online classes? How, tell us all about it, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely. Parents are free to attend. Okay, although my idea is to make the kids independent, whether it's art or handwriting classes. But initially, if the parents, maybe they are working, and their child is joining from home, so they log in for some time from office. So it is just for a few minutes. They're free to join. They're free to see, especially for younger kids. Free to sit with them, help them if required. But gradually, that's what we come to, that the child is able to attend, to sit, to draw, to color, to write independently. That's what I encourage, and that's how it turns out. And even parents, they feel happy that yes, okay, our child is now doing it himself or herself. We don't need to come, we don't need to sit with the child. We can do our own work. We can, just sit next to him, do our work, be comfortable. So that is how it goes.
Yeah. Also tell us, ma'am, what actually keeps you motivated to run this kind of online classes? Because as we expect, as a parent, we expect something from our tutor. So tell us, ma'am, what makes you actually motivated in this kind of teaching handwriting and art skills to kids, ma'am?
Yeah, so that's a very nice question. So first of all, I work with children with all kinds of personalities. So there are kids, including, which have ADHD, which means, attention deficit hyperactivity disorders. So seeing them, sit through the class, stay engaged, and enjoy the process of creating art, improving their handwriting, that is so rewarding. Parents will come to me that our child will not sit in the online class. They will not, sit even for 5 minutes, they'll go. But when they see that their children, they're actually sitting, even when I take workshops for 2 hours, parents have given me this feedback that we couldn't believe that our child was sitting for 2 hours and drawing and painting with you. They never sit at one place. So when I get feedback like this, it is so rewarding. It makes me, feel so happy, even these small things. Then my students' accomplishments also. So they will send me they've won prizes, they've won first prize, ma'am, we got a certificate, we got medals, we got this gift, that gift, with our art. So that also makes me, very happy. For example, there was one child from one of the students from Germany. So his artwork, got selected to be published in for a calendar. So throughout Germany, only 12 kids were selected. He was one of them who got, that recognition, who got some prizes also. So all these things, keep me motivated. And so then, thirdly, the students, so through art, they don't only learn art, they also develop their skill of communication. Okay, because the medium of my classes is English. Okay, so not everyone has a command over English, which is very important these days. It's a universal language. So, when students, they slowly start expressing themselves better. Okay, they'll slowly start speaking, understanding the language. So that is also another achievement that makes me happy.
So
Okay,
that's
and lastly and most importantly, I would say the bond that I share with my kid, with my students, right? The trust that they have, in me, and the thing that I have created a happy space for them through my classes. So that is these small things, keeps me motivated, and I think this is a very meaningful profession. I feel, teaching. Whatever you are teaching, not only art or handwriting, if you are a teacher teaching anything to even one person, I think it's really meaningful. So, all these things, the communication, the personal bonds that I'm creating, so all these things, yeah, they keep me motivated.
yeah, of course. Teacher has a lot of kind of heart-worthy kind of things which they can expect from students. Of course, you told that your students had a lot of accomplishments, especially students from Germany you are talking about, and you're also dealing with students with ADHD, and you're also dealing with students with different kind of things, the talents that you're making sure that you're shaping a good world in the future with good citizens. That's a great thing. And also being a tutor, you can expect a lot of good things from your students, like after 10 to 20 years. Consider, I have recently seen a video where the Russian President Vladimir Putin, in that video, one woman will be hugging Vladimir Putin very, like, in a very warm way, and Vladimir Putin he'll be like smiling, and he'll be like in a very happy mood. He'll not be kind of doing anything. He'll be accepting that kind of genuine kind of affection. The thing is that that woman was Vladimir Putin teacher during his early days. So that's the
Okay.
only thing which made a great world president to actually remain very humble. So that's the thing, because nobody can go and kind of have a good affection with a president other than a great teacher. So that's how valuable a great teacher is actually in this life. That's a great thing which we heard via you in this interview, ma'am. So also the thing is that what is the USP of your Splash online classes? Because you are running this online classes for arts and handwriting coach, and you're naming your academy as Splash. So tell us about the USP of the Splash online classes, ma'am.
Yes, so I would say the USP of Splash online classes would be that our programs, we just don't teach art and handwriting. Okay, we focus on building overall personality of the child, and developing their confidence. So which is very important. So through art, the kids, they're learning emotional expression, creativity, they're learning patience and focus. It helps them to release stress, think freely, and develop very strong, problem solving skills. That is very important. Sometimes children will, they'll make some mistakes. So I'll give them a solution. Instead of crying, I'll give them another solution. You can do this, you can do that. They'll drop a paint or by mistake on their drawing book. So we can just create it into something related to the theme which we are drawing. So that's how they'll learn that none of the mistakes is very big. It cannot be. It's not that it cannot be solved. So we can always solve problems. So this is how it helps. And with handwriting improvement, children, they naturally they become more organized. They again develop their fine motor skills. They gain confidence in academic work as well. Okay, so with improved handwriting, they're getting better marks. So their work is getting structured. So, when I get feedback like this, it feels really good. And I feel that, yes, we are making an effort which is, rewarding. And it also, these things also helps in giving my students clarity of thoughts, they become calmer, they're becoming sharper, they're becoming confident learners. Okay, so this is what makes Splash, I think, truly unique. So,
yeah, I do understand that these are the things which make you unique from other kind of online classes. So one last question for this interview is very simple, ma'am. Via this interview, if you want to kind of tell any kind of message to the kids, to the students, to the parents, to any middle-aged or any kind of old-aged or any teenage persons, it may be any message. What is that one continuous message that you wanted to tell to the audience via this interview right now, ma'am?
So I would tell everyone who's a learner here, whether children or adult, that keep learning, keep expressing yourself. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and just feel free to do whatever you want. That is very important to build your confidence. That is very important for your overall growth.
That's a wonderful message. Of course, learning doesn't have any kind of milestone. Of course, it is a kind of success and learning are two things which doesn't have any kind of destination endings. It's a kind of things which again and again revolves like a circle. It will come again and again in life. And learnings also, on the other hand, it doesn't stop once you just step out of your school or your college. We'll be learning till the end of our life. That's how the learnings are there in our life. That's a great message from you. And also at the same time, never ever feel kind of demotivated to fail. So always feel something new to learn. And even if you kind of fail, please make that kind of things sure that you can make yourself motivated to achieve success and never to be demotivated. That's once again a second great message which we received via from you this interview, ma'am. So thank you once again for just accepting me to host this interview. That was a great conversation from you, ma'am. So people who are watching this interview right now, please do go on subscribe to the Women Today YouTube channel. Please do click on the bell icon so that you can receive notifications whenever I post new videos regarding women entrepreneurs and working women across different cities in India and also across different countries in the world. So today's your host is Krishna, hosting this Women Today YouTube channel. Today's our guest is currently right now, she is from Bangalore, and she is the founder of Splash online classes for art and handwriting coach sessions. She is running for kids, not only for kids, for students and also for adults. And her name is Komal Mathur. So thank you once again, Komal Mathur, for kindly coming and having a great conversation with us regarding your art and handwriting coaching classes. So good evening, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Krishna, for
Thank you,
having
ma'am.
me on your show.
Great, ma'am.